You don't know what's out there.
That's why I would go.
Hi, and welcome back to Wild Dream, where we give you the freshest takes on the latest movies. My name is David.
And my name is Daniel.
And we are back. We're so back, bro.
It's unbelievable. We're hitting a groove. We're hitting a flow state.
2 episodes in 2 weeks. What are we, some kind of podcast?
What are we, some kind of normal podcast?
What is this, some kind of regular, normal, honestly, under expectation podcast? Because there are some podcasts that come out daily, and we can't even do that.
Yeah, pure insanity. I was thinking about this recently, man. Check this out. I was thinking about this recently.
Okay.
Because as we spoke about in our last podcast, we said our 2025 film catch-up list. And as I was looking up showtimes for this movie and another movie and stuff, I then noticed, man, the theater that we go to, the AMC that we go to, has a lot of movies playing at all times.
Yeah.
And that makes sense because I'm like, oh yeah, there's like 24 theaters here. Or whatever they're called. Yeah, 24 theaters here. Or screens. So I'm like, okay. I realize, oh, Hamnet is still playing here. That's on my 2025 catch-up list. And it plays...
Sinners is still playing at that theater
Sinners
right
is still
now.
playing, exactly. And Hamnet plays every day at 2:50 p.m. One showing a day. And I was like, if I was unemployed, my life would be so much more fulfilled and free.
Now, there was a stretch of time in 2022, right when we started the podcast, in which I was unemployed. And I was going to movies during the day. And it was me and a bunch of retired people. Like, so obviously retired. And they go to the movies every single day.
Yeah.
You know, and so it is, I see our future when I think about that. When I think about these like matinees, I'm like, oh my God, dude, me and Dan are we're going to be doing triple features every week. You know, I was like, cause like
Straight up.
One of my core, adolescent memories was the day that we went to do a double feature for The Big Short and Spotlight at the Angelica. I was like, that was such an awesome day.
It was.
And I was like, that is just the catalyst of what was going to be for our future, you know? So I see it, man.
Saw that shit back to back. And yeah, I agree. I'm just like, man, if I had all that time, I'd be going to see a movie every fucking day. I would get the most out of our A-list membership.
Yeah.
You know,
do you remember when those 2 movies were the only 2 movies nominated for Best Pictures we hadn't seen yet? And that's why we were doing that double feature.
Is that really why?
Yeah.
I did not remember the context.
Nowadays, now you and I would have to spend a week plus getting to all of those movies. Like, it's crazy.
That is crazy. Man, yeah, that's... and shout out to... I remember bawling like a baby at the end of Spotlight. But yeah, that's a good double feature because there's 2 great movies, but then they were different tones. So you
Very different tones. Yeah. But honestly, I think equally as good movies.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know?
Yeah.
Spotlight, not as much room for comedy.
Definitely not. But yeah, I was just as I look at showtimes for movies, I'm like, man, I wish I had more time. I just wish I had more.
Yeah.
Well, just more time to myself, more of my own time to spend how I want it. And I think too, back in the day, like when I remember going to see Suspiria at the Alamo Draft House over in Richardson, Texas, doxed. And
Doxing where you lived.
They know where I was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to go see that in between shifts. I was really out there. I had a double that day, and I had about 2.5 hours in between the shifts, and I was like, there's a AMC Alamo Draft House right nearby. I'll just go see Suspiria. I was the only person in the theater. Shout out to film is all I'm saying.
Shout out to film. We're so happy to be back.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
We're so happy to be back for this podcast.
I'm just I'm riding the high of being back in the theaters, back in the cinema.
And this week we did go see some more cinema.
That's right.
We just saw How to Make a Killing. Now, this is the second movie from this director. This is the second feature film from this director, this writer-director, who I guess has an affinity for crime dramas, in a way. Because his last movie, Emily the Criminal, not a movie we did for the podcast, but I think I talked about it on the podcast because I had gone to go see it. And I really, really liked it. I loved that movie. And it was one of my favorite movies of the year at the time. And so, yeah, I mean, when I saw that, he was making it, he has a new movie coming out. I was like, well, I'm interested. And then this week I was like, oh man, my Audible list is dry. I don't know what I'm going to read. So I go and I Google, I go, is this movie based on a book? That's me typing. Movie based on a book. And they were like, yeah. So there is a book that was written in 1907 that this movie is based off of called Israel Rank, The Autobiography of a Criminal. And then they made a movie in 1949 called Kind Hearts and Cornets. And that movie is based off of this book. So this movie is a movie loosely based off of that movie and loosely based off of that book. So it's like and the reason why I bring all this up is because last week we did a podcast where it was a movie famously based off of a way more famous book. Mm-hmm. And this time I was like, well, maybe I'll read the book again beforehand, which I did. And the thing that I think is funny about it is that last time it was like really important to do that because Wuthering Heights is such a, iconic book and a very important book in English literature. And then this time I go and I start, and I do audiobooks, by the way. So I'm listening to the book and there's this foreword from the guy who put the audiobook together. And he was like, yeah, no one's ever fucking read this book. He was like, yeah, I saw the movie and I was like, I want to, put together an audiobook for this. And so I tried to go find the book and I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I finally found it and I read it and I told everyone they should read it, but no one could because no one can find it because no one's ever read this book. And that book on Audible was $2 and it has 0 reviews. So no one has read this book. I was like, well, very interesting. But the reason why I think it's most important to bring up for the podcast is that we said last week that we consider Wuthering Heights more of a reimagining and less of an adaptation. Well, let me tell you, that was false. That was false advertising on our part. This movie is a reimagining. This is a reimagining. Point taken number one, the book is written from 1907. It takes place in 1907. This movie just takes place today. Wuthering Heights is a period piece.
February 20th. It takes place February 20th.
It takes place February 20th, 2027.
What?
We actually post-recorded this.
Oh, shit. That's crazy.
And we're actually really behind on movies because we're doing movies from last year.
Oh, no.
We're recording in 2027. But we're going to release this in 2026.
Did I lose the weight?
You found it again.
Fuck, I knew that was going to happen.
Isn't that what always happens?
I'm feeling hungry.
But talking about this movie, I like I said, there were things about the movie that I was excited for, right? I was reading the book and I was excited to see how much of the book was actually represented in the movie. I really loved Emily the Criminal, so I was excited to see what this director's new project was and all that. But on the other hand, when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, oh, it's such a, I don't know, it seems like such a Hollywood movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it just seemed like the trailer for it just felt so much like it's going to be, action packed in a certain way that was going to be uncomfortable and not really like focusing on story driven elements.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, the trailer was bad. Like, it just was not a good trailer. And it kind of was feeding into this whole trope of Glenn Powell. It was doing this thing where he's wearing a wig in every scene and he's dressed up differently. I'm like, is that literally what he's going to do for the rest of his career? Is be the different outfits guy? Like, I can't. I like how many. It's the weirdest typecast ever. Yeah. But it's actually not that way in the movie. It's not like, oh, I dress up as this, and then I dress up as this, and then I wear a monocle, and it's not that outlandish. So I'm glad it was a lot more toned down. But yeah, that the tone of that trailer did not leave the greatest impression on me, and I only got to see about the tail end of it, or maybe the beginning of it,
right?
At least for its
because we watch movies so often, we never seek out trailers for anything,
right. But then most recently when I went to the theater, I saw the full trailer, and that's when I saw that it was from the director of Emily the Criminal. And I was like, oh, I liked that movie. Well, now I'm excited for it. So I didn't even care about the trailer. I was just like, I just want to see the movie. So
yeah. I will say that I think that this movie, even though I kind of like poke fun at it because I'm like, this movie is based on another movie, which is based off of a book, it's like the same thing. I always, I chat on Wicked for that same thing. Yeah, a movie that is based off a play, which is based off of a book, which is based off of another movie, which is based off of a book.
Yeah.
And now now they had the sequel to the movie. Yeah. So, but yeah, I poke fun at it for that. But with that said, this is a very creative movie, I think, in a lot of ways. I think it is. There is some philosophy that could go into this movie about the morality of the character and his actions, and just kind of playing it like, I think that what the book did that I agreed that I really liked that this movie also does to a certain degree is it kind of explores like what is the meaning of wealth in this country? What is like, why is it that money is so important to so many people for so many reasons, and it controls so many aspects of our life? And what happens when we give money so much power over us that it corrupts us entirely, even if we don't have it? Like that kind of thing. And also just kind of like, what do people feel like they are owed? It's like, and I think that this is a great movie that kind of explores that. It explores this concept of like, if I told you were owed something, would you continue to pursue that thing over something you got instead that was better than what you are owed? And I think that is like, it comes down to like this. I think it's a really interesting concept, and I think they explored it well in the movie, because I even think about that in my own life about like, yeah, like what do I want in life and what would actually make me happy in life? And are those two different things? And I think that this movie is a great example of that concept.
I found it interesting as well. I did not expect to, just again, based off the trailer and even just kind of what the movie seemed to be about from the trailer, I didn't expect it to dive into so many things. And it did. Even if in a shallow, I don't want to say superficial, but maybe a shallow way, as in it doesn't really spend a whole lot of time on it and make it super hyper focused on any of these themes, but you do get small little bits of it. You get little bites of different themes and stuff to connect to. And I liked it. And yeah, they touch on wealth and class disparity and love and really,
which they did in Emily the Criminal too.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And the concept of, I really walked away from this movie going, it's almost like a gambling addict. Like, when do you know?
How do you know when you're finished?
How do you know when you're finished? How do you know when to stop?
Yeah.
When do you feel, like you said, like, when do I feel satisfied? When am I okay? And when you're on the outside looking in on a story like this, it's really easy to say, stop there, and pinpoint it. But obviously, on a more personal level, when you're in that situation, it's not so easy. So I thought that they did a really good job of communicating that theme throughout the whole movie. And I think that the movie was very sleek. It was just a very sleek movie. It reminded me of at points, I'm not saying all the way to this degree, but I'm just saying it reminded me of Baby Driver at points, with how well paced it was and how synchronized a lot of the camera movements and soundtrack were. Yeah. And I thought it was great. I cannot give enough praise for the pace of this movie.
Yeah, I think that another good comparison would be The Monkey, a movie that we talked about a lot in terms of like, just cutting to the next thing and then letting our brains fill in the rest of what happened, because whatever happened next is really not that important, and when you're telling a story like this, the fact that like, the story of the novel, obviously it's very, very different because it's a completely different time, like in the book, I can tell you this, in the book, there's a scene where he's trying to make everyone think that one of the people were killed by being kicked to death by a horse. And he realizes that the horse doesn't have any blood on his hooves. So he just cuts open his own hand and then throws blood onto the horse's hooves. And I'm like, yeah, because 1907 detectives would have been like, oh, no way to taste his blood. I guess that's his blood. They would just assume, like, okay, well, this is, I was like, that's why I was excited going into the movie. I was like, well, this is a complete reimagining. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to change a lot about what makes us a crime-driven story. Right.
Sure,
where crime stories can go a lot of different ways, right? You can go really, really dark and edgy with a crime story. You could go very modern and very realistic, like Emily the Criminal. And you can also go this route. This is a totally different route of a crime drama or a crime movie, where this movie is still like lighthearted. Even though it's like horrific what he's doing, it's very lighthearted, and it's done in a very lighthearted way. And so while those themes are very present and they're very real, it's not like this isn't a dark, twisted movie about a guy, about a murderer, but it is about a guy who kills 7 people. You know what I'm saying? So I was surprised by how funny the movie was. Like when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my God, this movie's going to try and be funny. Like it's going to be like a Thor Love and Thunder kind of trying so hard to get a punchline out of every, whatever. And they didn't do that. And the times that they did try and be funny, they actually were funny. Like I was laughing out loud multiple times in the theater.
Yeah, me too. I love the amount of comedy throughout, and I like how interesting each character is. I definitely have my gripes with the classic critique from our podcast, which is caricature versus parody. And I do think that there's some caricatures in this, unfortunately, that I wish were not as cheesy. But
they don't take up a lot of time.
Yeah, but I was about to say they don't get enough time in the spotlight or even enough time in general to shine. Like there's
to dim.
There's a anyway. There's a Righteous Gemstones character in this movie. I say that as in like the character they wrote it might as well be in Righteous Gemstones,
right,
word for word. But it's one of the shortest sequences of the whole movie.
Right.
So yeah, like you said, it's like even if it rubs me the wrong way, it doesn't have any lasting power. It doesn't have any stay. So it's like, oh, okay, well, we're moving on. So it didn't leave me with any kind of sour feeling. It was something that I was like, I just wish. There were small little things where I was like, I would have done this differently for this character.
Right.
Stuff like that. But, and you know what? On a very superficial level, I think I might have a new top 5 crush. Because,
dude, there is a woman in this. I don't know her name.
I'm going to
look it up, though.
His fiance
gorgeous.
Beautiful. Like, gorgeous. Yeah, whoever plays his fiance. I think she's a top 5er for me right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, shout out to her. And she was good.
She should have played Heathcliff. Because she's racially ambiguous.
That's right. Right.
Have you seen?
Oh, and speaking of Heathcliff and stuff, isn't it funny that so we go see this movie, which is also based on the book. The book. I was about to say, it's also based on Wuthering Heights. No, we go see this. It's also based on a book, and then the opening sequence of this movie, essentially, and it's not the very opening sequence, but the opening sequence of this movie is 2 kids growing up and falling in love.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah. And it's interesting because like that is an aspect of the book. Like it is an aspect of the story that's told, but I also kind of felt like it wasn't super necessary in this specific story. You know what I'm saying? Like it introduces these 2 characters, but then their interactions with each other don't really come into play for a long time, but it's also, it's very interesting to compare it to the book because what it really is like, well, this isn't this character. This guy, the character that Glenn Powell is playing would represent this character in the book, but they're not the same person. They're completely different people who live not completely different lives, very similar lives, but in a completely different time. And so it's just interesting to see that comparison because they interact differently with society and like their culture and everything because things are so different. Also, the book it takes place in England, so. And so does the other movie. It's both English projects. So the fact that everything is moved to New York also changes a lot about, how they react in their community, in their society,
Sure.
But what I think is so great about that is that the core elements of these characters were kept intact, very well. And these performances were really, really well done where it's like, okay, you don't have to do an exact adaptation to keep the core elements of a character. Like if I tell you that a character is, a manipulative bitch who, whatever is like a kind of psychopathic and can only feel good about herself when she has control over men, then you don't have to have her say any line that is in the book for that character to exist. So I just love that about this movie. When I say it's like a reimagining, there's not a single line in this movie that I go, oh, that's word for word from the book.
Yeah.
None of them. But there are characters where the way they act, I go, oh, they're acting like this character acts in the book, where it's like this is how they behave. And I really appreciated that. Yeah. It made me feel like this director did understand this book really well before reimagining it in modern times. But yeah, I think that, this movie, like it has some interesting shots and stuff like that. I wouldn't say there's anything like overly impressive in terms of cinematography. The music is pretty forgettable at times, but the story is really well told. And I think that there are a couple, like they use voiceover in this movie, which, we're not very big fans of. And do I think they could have told this story without voiceover? Of course I do. Wow, every story could be told without voiceover. But they did this kind of like, I bet you're wondering how I got here type of thing. And I didn't love that. But what it did do is it made this really long and intricate story with all these characters be able to be an hour 40. So
yeah.
Like,
and again, that's why I think it's my biggest compliment to the movie is how well it was paced, and this helped. It is a cheap trick, but it's a trick, and it works. And I think that the party who benefits the most, in my opinion, from the voiceover is Glenn Powell, because I think that, especially early on in the movie, I was a little worried. I was like, God, I just don't think I like him as an actor. I think that he reads lines like someone who's reading a line.
right.
I don't believe a character of his ever. And so once he starts to get that cadence to his words as if he's narrating a story, it helps my brain not get distracted by it and get used to it throughout the movie, so that now I don't see his line delivery as stale or reading straight off of a script.
Right.
There's something very performative.
Kind of gives him a beat.
Yeah.
You know,
so I think that he benefited from the voiceover. I think that it helped his performance feel a little bit more cemented and contextual. So I
think that there is so much of this movie where the acting is done without dialogue that helps tell the story in better ways than the dialogue does. And that's where I'm like the voiceover is, like I said, like you said, a cheap trick. But at the same time, I think that the movie is allowed to breathe when it needs to breathe because they're just going to exposition dump in the voiceover. Yeah. You know, so it is it a little bit annoying? Yes. Could it be, left out 100%? But I do think that, it wasn't a total crutch. It didn't take away enough from the movie for me to be like, well, this movie sucks because I had voiceover, Yeah. And we've seen movies where that is the case, where it's like, oh, you guys just complete crutch. Like, you're not going to tell the story. You're just going to voice over the story. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes they voice over the story and then tell the story, like in Weapons, where they did both. Right. they told, then showed.
That's really what I was thinking of. I was like, there's been way worse. And then, I thought of Weapons immediately.
Yeah. It's like, at least in this one, nothing that they're telling you is then immediately shown. And nothing that is shown is then immediately told to you via voiceover. It's kind of more like if I were to say a sentence and then in the middle of my sentence show a scene and then I finish my sentence where the scene ends. That's kind of how it was. So that's like, that plays into the pacing, that plays into the editing and everything. So, still not a great choice, but not going to harp on it, and bash it the way we did for Weapons and whatever else.
I thought this was an enjoyable watch. I really did enjoy my time with it. I thought it was pretty good, and it's one that I would definitely watch again. And
I agree.
I'm excited to talk about a couple of things in spoiler talk. So whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I think I would recommend this one. I will say, I don't think you have to watch this one in theaters. If this one pops up on Amazon Prime, you can check it out there. But if you have the time, go ahead. And I know it's kind of a dry month too for movies. So if you're someone who likes going to the theaters, this is a good one to go see. But it was promoted as kind of like an action movie, and there's some sequences that have stunts in them, I guess. But I wouldn't call it an action movie by any means.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into spoiler talk for you guys. In a movie where everyone dies, how do you spoil it? Ego cries. Everyone likes to go see a movie that they don't know, but we're gonna spoil it anyway. 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 Spoiler alert. So let's get into the rundown.
It's time for the rundown. We're just gonna add an instrument every time.
Yeah. So this movie is about Beckett Redfellow. Okay, so the story goes like this.
Harry Potter ass name.
Harry Potter ass name. Beckett's mother is one of 7 people that are in line for a massive fortune one day. Because
$10 billion.
$10 billion, which is kind of small when you think of
today's modern
billionaires. But
sad.
That's
heartbreaking to be true. God damn it. Anyways, $10 billion.
Yeah.
She's in line.
$10 billion. Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk could buy this man 80 times.
God.
80 times and still have, by the way, about $50 billion left.
Disgusting.
Anyways, yeah, so this man, his mother is cast out by their family because she ends up getting pregnant out of wedlock from a, poor family. And so she is, she gets completely abandoned by her family.
Exiled.
So then Beckett's father passes away when his mother is giving birth, and he grows up with a single mother who has to work really hard just to provide, everything for them. But he knows, okay, one day I'm going to be in line for this, huge amount of money. And things just end up not going very well from him. His mom ends up passing away. He's, struggling to find work. He finally finds a job, and then they're going to move him to a lower position. He's going to lose a lot of money. He might even get fired. And he, runs into this woman who is, when he was a child, he had a huge crush on her, but she was always kind of mean and very controlling and a little bit manipulative. And so he sees her and she's engaged, and he's like, man, I really not doing anything with my life. And she's like, well, let me know when you kill all those people and you get your money, as this little joke. And he's like, wait a minute, bling, I have an idea. He ends up making a decision that in order to better his life, he's going to kill off all of the relatives that are in line for this thing. So he ends up, going about this, and he does it a very quick and easy way each time, right? So each time, it's like, all right, I'm just going to do this real quick. Okay. And then they're going to die. And I like that they don't dwell on the deaths too long. I like that he goes to kill them. He does the thing, and then, cut to the funeral, right? And that's where I was like thinking of like the monkey a little bit, right? He's like, he does his little thing he's going to do to kill them. They drink the poison, or they fall into the water, whatever it is, and then cut to, and then they're being buried in the family burial, site.
Yeah, it became a great gag for sure.
And so he goes about this like one by one. Again, all these characters are really small characters in the movie, but after he kills the first person, he ends up meeting his uncle, who was the first person he killed, his dad, for the first time. And one of the things that I liked about this movie that they kept in the movie that is also exist in the book, that I was like, I wonder if they're going to do this. Cause I remember you saying in the trailer, like they have this, like Glenn Powell wears all these disguises and stuff.
Yeah.
In the book, I think it's kind of funny that every time he like kills someone, they're like, hey, who are you? He's like, oh, gives him his legal name. Every single time he goes, and I'm related to you. And they're like, oh, really? And it's at what point do people start getting suspicious, right? But they kept this in the movie, of course. And I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, I wonder if anybody's going to be like, why does he do that? And then you find out, oh, it's because in the book that's what he did. But he tells him like, yeah, I'm your nephew. And one of the biggest things is that he has this grudge against his family, partially because when his mom got cancer, they did not reach out to him at all. They didn't help with her medical bills. They didn't help her get well. Nothing. They just left her to die.
Trash.
So there is this like extra motivation of like almost like revenge, and almost like you took everything from me. You took like I'm supposed to have this, and I'm never going to get it because you guys just gave up on our fucking family for some bullshit, And it's one thing for like the dad, for the grandfather, like the head of the house to do that bullshit, but for every single uncle and cousin and everyone to back out of this family, like fuck them, So there is kind of like this theme throughout the thing is like, even though what he's doing is deplorable, they make the characters very caricature, very like annoying people that no one would want to be around. And they add this like added element of just no sympathy for him whatsoever. Right. So like half of his cousins don't even know who he is. And if they do, they don't care. They don't give a fuck. And so he goes about killing them, and, there's really like no remorse from him, at this point. But then, it gets a little bit complicated because this woman that he knew when he was growing up shows up again. And she's like, well, my husband, turns out he was a piece of shit. So I need money. And now he's doing well because his uncle gives him a job. He gave him a job. He's working on Wall Street. He's, making money. He's a finance bro now. And, he's moving up in the world. And that's where like this conflict kind of comes into place. Like we were saying, where it's like, how do you know when you're finished? Well, now you have a job and now you have this money and now you have this, this woman's coming back into your life. Maybe you guys would get together. But then he goes to kill one of his cousins, and his cousin is dating this really beautiful, really down to earth, just like awesome woman. And he's like,
can I say something real quick on a personal level? Her character says that she wants to move to San Francisco to become a teacher. And I kid you not, one of my old crushes from back in Texas had the exact same aspiration. And I ran into her recently, and she is in San Francisco now, and she is a teacher.
Whoa.
Is that not kind of crazy? It was just so funny because I was so attracted to the character in this movie, both physically and just personality wise. I was like, man, she's so sweet. Like you said, she's very down to earth, and she's so humble. She's so respectful. She's very, very sweet. She cares about the right things. She's smart. She's educated. And then she tells her little story. I was like, oh my God, she's like this exact same person I used to have a crush on. Yeah. It was really trippy. But yeah.
Obviously I saw her and I thought she was beautiful. And then when she was like, I want to be a teacher, I was like, I'm doubling down. Because I have a thing for teachers.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny. I was like, wait a minute, this is getting kind of real. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to look like Glenn Powell. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. You forgot that if you look like Glenn Powell, you can have her and Margaret Qualley at the same time.
That's right. I forgot. Which, by the way, I love that they do that in the movie. I love that it makes logical sense for women to want him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. Yeah. Like this girl goes and kisses him while she's still dating his cousin. Like, minutes before he dies, whatever. Yeah. So
Zach Woods, by the way, who's
Zach Woods
6'5".
We've always known this.
So it's like,
he towers over Rainn Wilson in The Office. So yeah,
my short king is stealing from the tall king.
Hell yeah. And Zach Wood, not a bad looking guy either.
True, yeah.
But first of all, one of the funniest comedians of all time, in my opinion, one of the funniest comedic actors, one of the most underrated comedic actors of all time. Now, now we have this like a little bit of this complication, right? So he's working for his uncle. He's making really good money. He's dating this beautiful woman who is really down to earth and just really special in a lot of ways. But he can exactly like what you said, like it's this gambling addict mindset where he's like, well, I can't stop what I've started.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't. And this is very similar in the book. This is kind of what's happening in the book. He ends up marrying this beautiful woman and he's working for his uncle and he's having this happy life that he never thought he could have. And he's even got the wife of, Julie, the character that Julie represents, who's Margaret Qualley in this movie. Margaret Qualley in this movie, I just said. Am I right, fellas?
Hey,
Margaret Qualley in this movie. He's making her husband jealous of him, and his success. And I think that is kind of represented a little bit in this movie too. It's just like, hey man, if you just stop right now, you got a good life. Like you don't have to keep, and you know what? You still might inherit the fortune because the only guy left is the top dog, the guy who's like fucking 70 years old. He's the grandpa, And even when his uncle passes away, like we're all as an audience, like kind of sad because he's been a really nice guy. He treats his employees well. He, even tries to run his business ethically, as ethically as you can run a, finance business on Wall Street. But, like he tries to run his business ethically. And
yeah, we see the entire second half of his arc.
Yeah.
We don't get to see the first part of it, but yeah, he's someone who goes, yeah, I regret how I treated your mother. I regret how I treated you, and I want to do right by you now. Yeah. I really like this character.
And what's funny is that one of the biggest differences between the book and the movie is that they actually added some qualities to all of the cousins and everything where you're like, man, I'm not saying they deserve to die. They're not like that bad of people, but they're also not like, no one's going to miss them. You know what I'm saying? Like they're they're like these pretentious, rich douchebag characters.
Yeah.
Whereas
the first one maybe should have.
But it's not like they're showing, oh, these guys are,
human trafficking
or fucking, not
doesn't go that far.
Not doing something like worth being killed over. They're just douchebags.
But this guy throwing money out of a helicopter and saying, you're all still fucking poor though. I'm like, look, man, fall out that helicopter and
I'm like, listen,
meet your maker.
This guy doesn't deserve to die, but he definitely doesn't deserve this inheritance more than Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
And it's like when he gets killed, Glenn Powell actually performs better at that guy's job that he takes than he does for the rest of the movie. So like in the book, all of the cousins are like really nice and down to earth people. And so it's just like, man, this guy's a fucking,
really? Wow.
Yeah, they're all like, he meets them all and they're all like, oh, it's really nice to meet you. And everyone loves them. They treat everyone with respect and they're very well, like just a nice, humble family. And no one's like a douchebag or anything. So it's a very, I was like, I knew they were going to do that, right? Because I saw some of it in the trailer. And obviously you're making it more modern where, okay, if you take it into modern day, yeah, any kid growing up rich is going to be a fucking piece of shit. Like they're going to be an asshole.
Yeah, they're going to be a brat. Yeah.
Whereas that could have been different, in a high society type of, you would learn manners in Old English.
Of course. Yeah.
But yeah, so when he is at a point where it's like, if you stopped right now, you're engaged. If you stop right now, you're good. Well, he doesn't stop. He goes to the mansion of his grandfather, and his grandfather tries to kill him. He is like, I know what you're doing here. I know what you've been doing, and you're not going to fucking kill me, you bastard. And so he, is shooting at him, and he ends up running. There's this whole like action sequence chase scene. And he ends up killing him with this bow and arrow.
Love lies bleeding.
Yeah, because it's Ed Harris.
Ed Harris.
Why do I only know him from that though? But you know what? He plays a bad father so good.
He does.
He's really good at playing a bad, like a mean old father who just cannot accept his children.
Way less eccentric in this one. He's not. He doesn't have a cool mullet, and he's not eating bugs. Like
I forgot about the bugs. God damn it.
But I only know him from I think Love Lies Bleeding and Westworld.
So by the way, if you guys want to know like more context of being able to listen to this episode, first of all, you need to go listen to last week, and then you should also go listen to the Love Lies Bleeding so you understand this reference.
Yeah. Quick, what's another reference we can put in here to get more listens?
I think that they should just listen to every episode we've ever made, and then they won't be lost ever.
There we go. Nice.
So if you go and listen to every single episode, you'll never be lost.
If you're listening to this right now and you're like, what the fuck? Are they like reviewing a movie or something? Go back to episode 1, Vengeance.
Episode 1, Vengeance. But anyways, yes. So he goes and he ends up killing him, but that's not what he goes to jail for. Sorry, the movie starts with him on death row. By the way, they're acting like they sentenced him to death and they're like, you have a month. Not how that works. People stay on death row for like 30 years. Mm-hmm. Like death row is they don't just sentence you to death and they're like, all right, yeah, a couple months we're going to put you down. No, they wait a long time. So the thing about Margaret Qualley's character is that what she has been doing is she has been trying to make him help her financially because her shitty husband has blown all of their money, right? So she married rich, but then he ends up blowing all of their money. And he wants to ignore her because he's like, hey, listen, I have this, beautiful fiance now and I've got a good job. I'm not trying to stay in, that business with her because she makes me crazy. And, she's so just like lusting after me all the time. And she just wants control over men all the time, whatever. Like you can tell like, and it's very similar to her character in the book. You can tell that she gets off on like knowing that men want her and then not letting them have her. Mm-hmm. Like she's really into that. So at the end of the, towards the end of the movie, what ends up happening is she kills her husband with a thing that was, he touched in his office. After she blackmailed him, she had pictures of Glenn Powell's character of, killing all of his relatives. So she has evidence of him being in the time and place of all these deaths. So she blackmails him into giving money to her husband. And then when he's in the office, he touches a letter opener. And then she kills her husband with that letter opener, frames him for murder. He gets sentenced to death. He is telling this entire story to a priest while in jail on death row, 4 hours from his, being put to death, for this murder that he is on death row for. So the priest has no idea that he has already killed 7 other people. Yeah. Because that has nothing to do with why he's on death row.
And that he's now being framed for the one murder he did not commit.
Right.
Yeah.
Julia goes to visit him in prison and she's like, listen, I got a letter that'll exonerate you, but I'm only going to do it if you sign over the entire fortune that you inherited to me. So that's what he does. Now, is this a real fucking selfish bitch move that he just went through and killed 7 people for this fortune that he's been promised his whole life and has had to watch his mother die without it? And she's like, give it all to me. All 10. She couldn't take 9. She couldn't have just taken $9 billion, left him $1 billion. Even at the end of Mr. Deeds, he's like trying to walk away. And, the person who ends up getting the inheritance is like, Mr. Deeds, how about $1 billion? He's like, I'll take it. Sure. Mm-hmm. Even Mr. Deeds got $1 billion. So, yeah, the end of the movie is him getting out of prison, and he sees his fiance in the parking lot, and she gives him his locket that has a lock of hair of his mom, because he's a fucking freak that carries around a locket of her hair. I don't know who would ever do that. Why, a picture's just not good enough, I guess. Jesus fucking Christ. But anyways.
She gives him the locket, and then she drives away.
And then she drives away. Sad. And then he gets
in. He looks to his left.
And there's Julia with a Rolls Royce.
The Rolls already
immediately. Immediately. And then, the butler gets out of the car. She gets in the back, and they drive up to the mansion that he now owns. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's the end of the movie.
That she now owns.
Yeah, that she now owns.
And that's the end.
That's the end. The rest is up to your imagination.
Imagination. See, the thing I wanted to talk about with the ending is I thought that this was heading towards he loses everything and he's back at square one kind of ending. And it's weird that I kind of wanted that more, even though I find this ending to be a little bit more interesting and new and something more to chew on than just, he's back at square one.
Yeah.
Like it's weird to say, like, I would have preferred the less interesting ending, but I thought that's where I was going. I was, I kind of like that little full circle moment. He's all this and he's back to just nothing.
Yeah.
But it is kind of interesting. This ending is just a little bit more interesting because it's like her character is fascinating because from the very get-go, she is always in control. She's the one who comes up and talks to him first. He doesn't say anything to her. She's the one who puts her hand on his hand in the piano recital. She's the one who kisses him. She's always in control. She is the one in charge.
Yeah.
And that never changes. She is very, very manipulative, and it's on him for even
letting her get in his head like that.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I liked her character. I like that she is that way. It's a fascinating type of character. And yeah, I don't know what this says at the end. Is he just her little prisoner now? It's what it felt like a little bit.
I mean, yeah, kind of, I guess, in a way. I mean, that's kind of her shtick, but it is like she married for money and then she didn't get it. And that's really, she's just like, listen, I'm going to have my money. And if I can also have this goddess, I almost called him, this god and, this Greek god, and Glenn Powell is my boy toy. Sure. I'll take that too. Mm-hmm. I think that's like in the book, it's kind of like that. Like in the book, when they were dating and when they were kids, she was like, I want to date him because he is the most attractive person in the world, and everyone says so. That's one of the things I liked about the casting is that, and I'm not going to do a full deep dive on the book the way I did for Wuthering Heights, but the aspects of the book that I think that I really enjoyed that they kept were, they kept that he plays piano. I wish they had it more throughout the entire movie, but I like that they did that because it's a very important part of his character. And I like that they kept, like, in the book, they're like, this guy he's uncomfortably handsome. Like, he is so handsome that it's like, in every single room that he is in, he is the most handsome person in the room, and it's jaw dropping. And then like you'll see scenes in this movie where he's in like a boardroom with a bunch of just regular normal looking people, and there's just this Greek god in the back of the room for no fucking reason at all. And you're like, Jesus Christ, like I didn't even think Glenn Powell was like that good looking, and then I see him in this movie and I'm like, my God, he is fucking good looking. And they surrounded him with a bunch of uggos to help like boost that.
What was your favorite look of his in the movie?
Honestly, I mean, I think that it's, the suit. I think it's the suit.
It did fit way too well.
Yeah.
It was almost, again,
just enough where you can tell he's buff, but not like see the outline of his muscles. But
Yeah, the slicked back. You think this is a slicked back? This is pushed back. It's funny because my favorite look of the movie for him was at one of the funerals. He's wearing a black denim jacket with black jeans, a black beanie, and these black tinted glasses.
Yeah.
And I was like, I fucking love this look on him, even though it looks like he's in a band.
Yeah.
Which is not something you would expect for Glenn Powell. But I was like, man, I really fuck with this vibe. If he had a couple of hand tattoos or something, man, he'd really pull it together.
Yeah.
But
I think that he always looks best when he's more rugged. I think that in The Running Man, when he's like wearing, like a tight tank top. And then obviously, I mean, there's nothing that's going to top the white shirt in the rain. You put a buff guy in a white shirt in the rain, he's gonna look hot. Like I don't care if it's Ryan Gosling. I don't care. We
just saw it with Elordi.
Yeah, we just saw it with Jacob Elordi. It's like, that scene in Twisters with Glenn Powell when he's wearing a cowboy hat in the rain with a white t-shirt. I'm like, humana, ooga, ooga. You know? And so, yeah, I mean, that's the, but it is just one of those things. It's like, you know, when I think of the most attractive actors of all time, I don't think of Glenn Powell. But when I saw him in this movie, I was like, yeah, I think he fits this character very well. Where in the book, it is written that everybody who meets him is like, oh my God, this is the most handsome person I've ever met. You know, and that's why he's able to go just easily slide into high society and go in, you know what I'm saying, whatever, because he's so charming and so good looking and he's talented and, you know, he's got all this stuff. So even though he's, you know, dead broke, no one questions when he shows up somewhere. And I think that that's something that kind of happens in this movie too. I think that a lot of times he just shows up places and he's like, hey, what's up? I'm your cousin, by the way. And they're like, oh, cool. And they just completely accept that. And, you know, they don't question it at all. I'm like, yeah, because he's a charming guy, you know? Even like the scene where he's on a date, like that scene was just incredible for me because it's just cutting to between two beautiful people and them just being completely honest and down to earth.
And that was my favorite look of her in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I loved, God, there's something about when girls like have their hair up and then they have the strand on each side.
Yep.
That is an elite, number one, my favorite look ever. I just love, and she looked beautiful in that scene. And I loved her kind of artist punk rock outfit with the long sleeves and the short sleeve. Like it was, I love
like the multiple ear piercing thing. Like, yeah, there's so much about her that's like beautiful, both cute and really hot.
Yeah.
At the same time, which is a whole thing. And it's Crazy Stupid Love, by the way. I don't know how you're doing this, like really cute, but incredibly sexy look. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, it's, really complimented his character. I think his good looks complimented his character.
Same.
I think it was a really important aspect of the character in the book and a really important aspect in this movie. You know, it's like, yeah, even though he's not, normally when you cast a character who's like super buff like that, it's because they're going to go do like Running Man type stuff for the, you know, whatever. But in this movie, it just needed to be a guy who looked really fucking handsome, like too handsome to ignore in a way.
Yeah. I think that's why it worked so well for him. You're right. It's good casting.
And I even like Julia's casting. I know that you are not, you know, as into Margaret Qualley as me and Mo are, which Mo obviously is dating Margaret Qualley.
Just like finding her attractive wise. No, I like her as an actress. For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, it's not really my type as far as physical attraction, but not to say, but she's beautiful. She's gorgeous. I'm just saying that's not really what I go for. But
I think her performance is the better part of her character in terms of playing the character that was written in the book and the aspects that she embodies from that character. I think that her looks help a lot, obviously, because everyone, you know, she's beautiful. And, you know, in the book, she's written as this character that everyone comments on her beauty. Like every time someone sees her, like, who's your friend? What? She's so fucking pretty. But at the same time, I think more importantly, her character is someone who very much enjoys manipulating men. And that the only person who doesn't give her that satisfaction all of the time is this guy, you know, and they're two different names of characters. So I can't just say one name. But I love that about this movie. I think that it's like a really good dynamic where she's like, oh, if I can't even tempt you with my body, with sex, with, you know, whatever, now I'm just going to have to straight blackmail you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to have control over you.
Yeah, one way or the other. I'm going to win. It's just about how I'm going to do it.
She's like, you will be mine. You will be under my thumb one way or the other, just like all other men are. You know, and I love that like empowerment of her character that also just like creates this villain of the movie, because the people that he kills, they're not like great people, but they're not so bad that you hope that they die. And he himself, you don't even really see as a villain in this movie, right? So she adds that added level of conflict. It's like, well, you're writing a movie about a guy who very easily kills a bunch of people and barely gets any looks from the police. You know what I'm saying? Like they talk to him like a couple times, but nothing really serious. Like, how do you do that and add conflict? Because the conflict should be, oh, I'm about to get caught killing these people. But that's not really there. So they add this whole other element of her becoming this antagonist to him. Yeah. That adds a lot of drama, especially towards the third act, where this movie doesn't have as many third act follies because of that. Like they actually ramp up the stakes in the third act.
Yeah, I feel you. I agree.
Now, let's talk a little bit about what we were talking about in spoiler free talk. Is when we talk about like this movie being a good representation of like wealth, inequality, and class, and you know, how do you know when you're finished? I think that that's one of my favorite parts of this movie is like he gets to this point in the movie where he is dating, you know, like we said, he's dating this beautiful woman. They're living in, you know, New York. He's making six figures as a Wall Street banker, you know, this stockbroker, and they're engaged now. And it's like, all right, man, you did it. You're done. Like this is where you should be finished. This is where you should be satisfied. And even the priest that he's talking to calls him out on this. He's like, why continue to risk everything? Like, why do you continue to engage in this stuff? Like, do you really need the full inheritance? Like, you've gotten everything you could have asked for, you know? And even, you know, the character, he's just like, but I had it in my head. This is something I was owed. I had it in my head.
Owed to me.
And it reminded me of, I'm glad that you compared it to gambling, because it does remind me of Uncut Gems, you know, in this mindset of like, well, like almost like chasing your losses in a way. You know, it's like, he's like, well, I, you know, gained all these things, but I still want this inheritance because I've decided in my head, this is what I want. And now I have to accomplish that goal. And without that, then nothing is complete. And it is something that, there's a quote from the book that I wrote down, actually. This is what he says. He says, money is a thing, the power of which the vulgar are always overrating and the cultured are always underrating. And I think that is like, to me, the theme of the entire book and the theme of the entire movie. And honestly, the theme of most of life, right? Like, money is this thing that people who have it a lot and, you know, could spend it willy-nilly, you know, they think money is nothing. And then people who grow up with nothing, who have struggled for everything, they think money is everything. And so it can get to a point where it's like, well, if you can understand that when we say money buys happiness, well, what is that happiness? If it looks like having someone in your life that you love and a comfortable place that you can live in and a job that you don't want to, you know, kill yourself at, and you know, like a career that you enjoy and a family of your own, like if that is happiness to you, then that should be what the money helps you obtain.
Yeah.
But instead we think that the money is the happiness, right? And so the people, they are overrating money. They're saying money is the most important thing, to the point of, if I have money, then I will be happy. Even if I already have everything the money would get me. And that's what I loved about this book. It's what I love about this movie, is that concept. And I think that that's a concept that even gets played into in Emily the Criminal to a certain degree.
Sure.
You know, like she's someone who, how do you know when you're finished? Like, she pushes the boundaries too far and keeps trying to do stuff that she shouldn't do and gets in trouble, like all this stuff. So, you know, becomes, you know, a really serious motif of this director that I think he did really well. And I think that in this movie, where it's a lot more comedic and kind of a happy ending, you know, whereas Emily the Criminal's, you know, you could go either way with it. I mean, it's not the most tragic it could have been, but it is a tragic ending. And yet in this movie, I still I still feel that sadness, you know, because I'm like, you lost what would have made you happy and you lost the money.
Yeah, you end up with neither. And now you get to see to someone else and become a part of their life and not vice versa. And I think this concept too is talked about on Caleb Heron's podcast, which we listen to all the time. Shout
out Caleb Heron. Welcome on Wild Dream whenever.
Would love to have you.
We're going to do Devil Wears Prada 2 just for you, buddy.
And we're giving it a 10 out of 10 if he gets on the pod.
100%.
I will absolutely sell my soul for him to be on the pod. He was just
best stand-up set I've ever seen.
Yes.
That's not even me blowing smoke.
Same. Caleb Heron has the best stand-up set I've ever seen. Shout out to him coming all the way over here to Denver. And I was just listening to an episode of his where he said, yeah, like when people say money doesn't buy happiness, that's fucking bullshit, because when I started making money, I was a lot happier. Yeah. And then he explains why. He's like, yeah, I was able to buy my mom a house. I was able to pay her bills. I was able to get myself a house that I now let people stay at, because I'm almost never there. I let people stay at my house for free when they're in town. He starts talking about the comfortability of exactly what you're just saying. And I'm like, oh, nice. I love that he's so mindful to explain what he means when he says money buys happiness. Right. And I was like, yes. Like I felt so like, preach, dude. Cause I feel I've always thought that. I've always thought that saying money doesn't buy happiness is bullshit. But yeah, you're right. I like the theme too. And I liked how I actually thought it was a pretty emotional scene with his uncle on his deathbed, when his uncle is saying, if you want to run after the money, go for it. But I would not do it if I were you. Yeah. He's like, that's what I did. And he says, look at me. That's what I did. And you're the only visitor I've had today.
Yeah. That was one of the most powerful scenes in the movie.
It was such a powerful line. And I was like, wow, like that, it actually hit. And it's because that guy is a great actor and that character is really good too. So I loved that theme as well. I was a big fan of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think that Julia is a good character that helps reinforce some of that negativity around money as well. You know, she is also somebody who wants money more than anything else. Like she can't even fathom the idea of being in love because marriage is about money. You know what I'm saying, to her. Yeah. So I think that is something that like he sees that in her and he detests that in her. But then he doesn't see it in himself, you know, and it's what it makes me think of is like when I was in high school and I was in health class. I remember at one point we were doing this assignment and we were filling out like this survey. And one of the questions on it said it had a line, you know, a straight line going across the page and two straight lines. And the first question says, mark on this line from, you know, the left being 0 and the right being 100%. What percentage do you think you are influenced by the media? How much do you think the media you consume and watch, whatever, influences who you are, how you think, and what you believe? And then the second question is, how much do you think the media influences other people? And how much do you think it makes them think, you know, change the way they think about things and see the world? And when we did it, every single student in the entire class did the exact same thing. For how much does it influence me? They put it in the middle. How much does it influence other people? All the way to the right. Mm. So we could all go, oh, all of you guys are influenced by media.
Yeah.
But not me. I barely even get influenced by media. No, we're all this way. And I think about that for this movie too. I think like, you know, it's something like he sees this greed in these other people. Oh, I see this greed in my cousins and the way that they've wasted their wealth. Buddy, you're killing people for this money. Like, you know what I'm saying? He like, that's where it's like, he's not a sociopath because he's willing to kill people and not feel guilt. That's part of it. He's a sociopath because he's like, what I'm doing is good. What you guys are doing is bad. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and that's why I think that Julia is like, yeah, it's bad. It's all bad. I'm bad. Yeah. And it's like, well, now she's more virtuous than you are because at least she can admit it's all about the money, baby.
Right.
You know, like you have this false ideology. So, I mean, am I reading a lot into a movie that is a straight comedic movie with a couple of deaths? A little bit, but I love that theme, you know, and I think that there is a message here that I think is worth watching the movie for.
Agreed. Yeah, it was a good one. I liked it.
My favorite part of this movie, I think all in all, is going to be the comedy aspects of it. The parts of the movie that I was laughing out loud at were so good. My least favorite part of the movie, I think it's the voiceover in general is probably my least favorite part. I don't like that they're telling the story this way in general. I don't like that they're doing I bet you're wondering how I got here. Well, it started 2 years ago. Like, I don't like that. Mm-hmm. But especially at one point in time, after, by the way, every single time he goes to kill someone, every time he's thinking about killing these people, he looks at a locket with his mom's hair in it because he's a fucking freak. So we're like, we get it. Your mom's dead. You're doing this because your mom. We get it. All right, stop with the fucking locket, man. And then they actually cut to voiceover of his mom going, remember, I wanted you to have a better life than this. And then it's like clips of the mom and his younger version actor. I'm like, what the fuck is this? We don't need this. We don't need this. We know his motivations. We know why he's doing everything that he is doing. Yeah. Stop. Yeah. So that part was really, really annoying. I was like, cut this out of the movie immediately.
My favorite part of the movie, I've already said it, it's the pacing. I think this movie is so well paced, and it's something that I would aspire to do if I were to make a movie like this that needed that kind of pacing to keep it interesting and moving. I was really, really impressed by it, and it was great. My least favorite part of the movie, I think my least favorite scene in the movie was the whole showdown between him and his grandpa, because it was a completely different movie than the rest of everything. It turned into an action movie all of a sudden, and I just wasn't that invested in it. I was like, get it over with, and it was just weird. I don't understand why his grandpa handed him the shotgun and said, "Shoot me, kill me," and then he didn't, and then he was, "All right, I'm gonna kill you now." I just don't. Yeah. I didn't really get it. I found him.
Ed Harris should have been used in a better way as a villain.
I found him talking to Glenn Powell to start that scene way more riveting. When he starts talking about the voice in your head and you can mute it, about that morality since.
Yeah.
And he's shrouded in this really cool lighting. I'm like, yeah, this is dope. This is conversation.
And when
this
Glenn
is
Powell just
tension.
straight up just says when he just says, "Why didn't you help my mom? When
Yeah.
she needed you." Like
that's a dramatic
just
scene.
is finally getting this out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what he really came for. It's not about killing you.
But instead,
this is what he's really here
Then it
for.
turns into just bullshit action. Just I just hyped up this trench gun and about how it's fucking insane and powerful. And is that a pump action shotgun?
I guess so.
But when I shoot, it's almost like a 9mm where it has to be very precise and on target. It doesn't have a spread, and I have stormtrooper aiming for some reason. I'm like, okay, whatever, man,
Yeah.
get it the
And
fuck
also,
over with.
this gun that I just showed you can be loaded multiple shells in it. I'm going to load one at a time.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
I was like, the tropes were so bad I was like, dude, get this the fuck out of the movie.
Yeah.
But whatever. That was my least favorite scene. It stuck out like a sore thumb to me. But you know, we forgive and we forget.
The way that he kills the people in the movie is very different than how he kills the people in the book, except for he does use poison multiple times in the book, and he uses poison at least once in this movie. But other than that, they're all like pretty unique and creative, each individual one, and it plays into the vanity or the, whatever of that person. Like he picks something about that person that he's going to kill that would make it seem like this could just happen to them,
Yeah.
So that's it's a good way to do this for the reimagining, where you're saying, because that's the whole time going into the movie, I'm like, how are they going to do this where he's not just going to immediately get caught by the police? It's like, because he's really inventive and creative with the way he's like, I'm going to kill this person with a teeth whitening cleanse that has ingredients in it from a country that she visited, and she's like a health freak and wants to use stuff from Africa all the time.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to use this ingredient in her thing, and then she's going to die from it. Like that level of like, they could have actually died this way, without any outside interference.
Sure. Yeah.
Whereas in the book, it's like poison, arson, poison, like, you know what I'm saying? And then literally one of them is like, he like falls off of a horse and he just holds his mouth and nose closed when he's passed out, so that he, dies. So yeah, it's just, I like that about this movie. And I like that they don't dwell on it. He tells them, hey, this is what I'm doing, cut, and then it's done.
Yeah.
And then when he kills the last guy, it's got to be this whole thing. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's weird. Didn't like it.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I definitely will be watching this one again. Like when it comes out on streaming, I'm probably going to just throw it on. I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. Probably closer to a 7 than a 5. I think 6 is really fair.
You're never going to fucking believe. I'm giving this a 6 out of 10.
Sorry, no excitement for you guys.
We need Taylor on every episode. We need her to be the one that goes, this was a 2. This shit sucked. we need it.
Or vice versa. This is a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. But yeah, 6 feels right because it's something I will watch again. It's above average. It was actually good. So it surpasses a 5, which is just mid and watchable.
Right.
So, yeah.
But we are going to get into part 2. This time, we're going to do a combo here. We're going to do a game, at least a game. And we're going to do a little bit of trivia and see what people are saying online about the movie.
Yeah.
If there is anything. This movie came out today, didn't it? Or yesterday? Today. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to try and see what we can find online. We're going to play a game. So stick around for part 2. We'll see you in just a sec. Mwah.
And we are back.
We're so back.
To part 2 of the podcast. Now, part 2 is where we like to get a little bit of a goofy vibe. I think of it like a family game night, but with adults only. So we're going to play adult games like Cards Against Humanity.
Freaking epic. I love that game. It's so freaking funny.
Dude, Pixelated Bukkake. That's so bad.
Laser cats. That's so random.
Yeah. The world is being taken over by Obama's presidency.
Yeah, that's what I said when I had diarrhea. Cards Against Humanity is freaking hilarious.
So it's kind of adult. It's kind of adult, sick, twisted adult.
Weird.
Okay, so I only have two pieces of trivia that I think is worth mentioning.
All right.
So remember when I said I was teasing this this movie for being based off of a movie which is based off of a book?
Yeah.
It is also, so it's loosely based off of Kind Hearts and Coronets, okay, a movie directed in 1949 by Robert Hammer, which is based off of Israel Rank, the Autobiography of a Criminal, which is the book that I read from 1907, written by Rory. R-O-Y. Rory.
Oh, I thought you were saying Rory.
No, not Rory. I could say Rory really easily. Horny Man is his last name. Horny Man. Horniman. And there's also a Tony Award-winning musical that this movie is generally based off of, called A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. So this is based off of a movie, which is based off of a play, which is based off of a book, and every single one of those has a different name.
Jesus.
And a different long name, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
Kind Hearts and Coronets, A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, How to Make a Killing, and Israel Rank, the Autobiography of a Criminal. There's so many names.
Insanity.
And the only other thing I wanted to say, so apparently this director has actually had this in his back pocket for a while. He wrote this. This script was featured on 2024. It says featured on the 2024 blacklist of the year's most liked scripts.
Well, I got a couple of things from the Reddit thread that I'll mention. I just want to say that the overall vibe is everyone really disliked this movie. They thought it was very bad. Overwhelming amount of negative comments. Some of the comments I found, someone said Beckett and Julia hung out like 2 times as children and were supposed to be led to believe that they've been in love with each other their entire lives. The movie did a horrible job at establishing any connection between any of the characters. Ruth and Beckett's relationship was the second biggest sham, only behind Beckett and Julia's.
I don't think that they were meant to imply that they were in love with each other at all. I think it was just he had a crush on her when he was little, and he still has a crush on her now.
And it says, just not a good movie at all. And I wanted to bring that one up because I was like, his complaint is my complaint about Wuthering Heights. And
but Wuthering Heights, I said, literally they're in love with each other.
And I said his complaint. I will assume. It's Reddit. So,
fair.
But yeah, his complaint is what I had about Wuthering Heights. However, exactly. I did not read that at all in this movie. I think that he started to loathe her in their adulthood in this movie. I don't think that they were supposed to be shown falling in love. I think, like you had pointed out, it's more so crush, and it is her establishing her character and her dominance and her manipulation and all that. So yeah, kind of. Yeah.
We're supposed to assume that they're in love with each other. No, we're not. No. Why are you assuming that?
Yeah, why would you assume that? Exactly.
Yeah. In Wuthering Heights, they literally say, I love you. I'm in love with you. I'm so in love with you, I'll die without you.
I will die without you.
In this movie, he's like, I don't ever want to talk to her. I don't even want to see her. Like, what part of that makes you think they're supposed to be in love?
Yeah.
And also, the Ruth relationship, is a little bit fast-paced? Yeah, because they do this big time jump. But I mean, the beginning of their relationship is, hey, we're 2 hot people who are down to earth surrounded by a bunch of ugly, pretentious douchebags.
Yeah. So we found love in a hopeless place.
And if I was running out to give Glenn Powell his jacket and he pulls me in for a kiss, I'm not going to back away.
I'm not going to say no.
Now, does he have any lips to kiss? No.
Not really. But can I grab onto those big juicy pecs while I'm kissing his no lips? Yes, I can.
Yes, I can. And I will.
Someone said, I thought that the priest was going to end up being a secret uncle.
There is a character in the book that is a priest. So that might be why they're thinking that.
Well, someone said that would have been good. I think it's a kind of interesting take. Like, let's throw a little wrench in there. And then here's just a string of comments, one after another. I was finally able to find a positive comment, and it said verbatim, fucking loved it. So a little aggressive. I mean, we were like 6 out of 10. It was good. But these are all in a row. Someone said, fucking loved it. Someone else said, the Hallmark version of Mike Flanagan's Fall of the House of Usher.
No.
Someone said, this is aggressively just okay. Probably not worth, which I already hate. I'm going to be so real. I already hate this person from that sentence. This is aggressively just okay.
I need it medically.
It's like, whatever, bro.
It's not giving.
Probably not worth seeing in theaters unless you are an AMC A-lister. I did not like the ending. And then someone said it was a run-of-the-mill 90s movie with A24 magic dust for entertainment. It was fun, at least, and Margaret is a smoke show. So, yeah, the only positive comments I could find were not great. And, yeah, everyone was just like, there was some really long comments, which is why I only picked a small amount. But, yeah, people just did not like the movie. The whole, like, this is a nothing movie, I saw that said at least 5 times in the thread. This is a nothing movie.
Well, maybe I just have more film literacy, media literacy.
Yeah. But
sorry you guys don't have media. So we're going to sit here and we're going to say anybody who doesn't understand Nosferatu doesn't have media literacy. And then you go and you watch this movie and you go, this is nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okie doke.
Well, we've said this on the pod before. Actually having media literacy is different than what Twitter says it is.
That's right.
Maybe we should start finding some comments on Twitter so we can find some unhinged shit.
Yeah, well,
people on Reddit always are trying to just get the top comment.
For sure. I'm going to start looking on Letterboxd too, because I made a Letterboxd account. Crazy.
Boo. You know what? I've been tempted to make a Goodreads account.
What's funny is that I've only reviewed, I think, 2 movies. Do you have a game for me?
I do have a game for you.
It's game time.
Now, we may or may not do more than one, depending on how long it takes you, okay?
All right.
But we are playing, this is a guess the actor, okay? And you have 20 questions.
Guess the actor, and I have 20 questions.
Yes. So you have 20 questions to ask me, and you are trying to guess the actor that I'm thinking of in my head.
All right. Is it a man, a woman, or are they non-binary?
You can only ask yes or no questions in 20 questions.
Did you say it was 20 questions, or you said I had 20 questions?
You have 20 questions. It is 20 questions. Both.
So now we want to give the rules. Okay. Is it a man?
I haven't done this one yet.
Is it a man?
No.
Is it a woman?
Wouldn't you like to know, bigot? Yes.
Are they older than 30 years old?
Yes.
Are they American?
Yes. Good question. That's a good question.
Have they been Oscar nominated?
Officially, no.
Okay. Are they more known for TV than movies?
Yes.
Interesting. God, that's a good question. I nailed that.
That is a good question.
So they're over 30. They've not been nominated for an Oscar. They're more known for TV than movies. It's an actress. Are they blonde?
No.
Are they brunette?
Yes.
Do they have yiddies?
No.
Oh, I thought it was Alison Brie for a second. I really thought it was Alison Brie for a second. I thought I was about to get it. No. Are they a musician?
No.
Damn. I'm way off track now. I'm getting too hyper fixated. I'm getting too focused in. I'm too dialed in. I need to get zoom out. Zoom out. Are they known for multiple TV shows or just one single show that's iconic, kind of?
They are not known for multiple TV shows.
Wow, interesting. Then it can't be Courtney Cox, because shout out to Cougar Town. Shout out to my guy Abed. There's a lot of community influence on these guesses right now. Let me chill out. What era are they known for, like a 2000s TV show?
Yes.
So like 2009?
Yes. I'm counting that as a question.
The way is which is all, isn't that when Community premiered? Pretty sure it is 2009. What the fuck? And it can't be Yvette Nicole Brown because she was known for Drake and Josh. I'm really thinking of Community now because it's 2009, bro. She doesn't have yiddies, so it can't be Alison Brie. She's not blonde, so it can't be
Gillian
Jacobs. The Dean.
I would have said they, them.
This is so, it's so lining up to be Community. What the fuck? But I've already named all the women in the study group.
Why don't you ask that question then?
Oh, yeah. Are they in Community?
No.
Oh, fuck. 2009. So around like 2009. Are they the lead?
No.
No. Do they have a male co-star?
Yes.
Is it Emily Deschanel? Or whatever her name is?
No.
I thought it was Bones for a second. Male co-star. Or is it an ensemble?
Yes. But I will tell you, it is an ensemble. They have a male co-part for their section of the ensemble.
Okay. Community is an ensemble.
Community is an ensemble.
I really wanted to be Community for some reason.
But like if you said, is Troy the main character? No. Does Troy have a co-star? Yes. Abed.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's say, let's go Jenna Fisher.
Nope.
How about Phyllis?
No. I think I put Phyllis Smith.
I thought you were really trying to get me. Is she on The Office?
No. And that's your 20th question.
Okay.
So, do you have a final guess for me?
No, I give up. My head hurts.
You're looking for Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza. From the third TV show from 2009 that you just weren't quite getting to. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to really help you with that male co-part. She works very closely with another man on that show.
Oh, yeah. Whatever happened to that guy? He was so funny and nice and cool. And such an awesome human being.
Trump supporter. He's an AI supporting, Israel supporting, Trump supporting Republican who makes propaganda movies now.
Darn.
And she was in Emily the Criminal, the other movie directed by this guy.
Yeah.
Do you want to play another round or do you want to just move on to your game? Do you feel like you want some redemption?
Yeah, fuck it. We'll save my game for next week.
You sure?
Yeah, give me redemption, man.
Redemption round.
Redemption round. I'm going to get it this time for freaking real.
Okay.
All right.
20 questions. Here we go.
Guess the actor. Here we go. Are they a man?
Yes.
Are they over 30?
They have to be. Yes. You know, it's fun that you're over 30 now. So as long as their date of birth is before yours, I know that they're over 30.
Nice. Are they more known for movies?
Yes.
Are they usually an action star?
No.
No. Are they Oscar nominated?
No, they are not Oscar nominated.
Are they married to another famous person?
Not that I'm aware of, so probably not.
Okay. I was dialing in, and I thought I knew it, so I just needed that out of the way. Have we seen a movie that they've been in on the podcast?
No.
Damn it. Are they a box office type of movie actor usually? High
Like a really high grossing?
High grossing?
Sometimes.
So pretty split. Sometimes. Have they ever been in an A24 movie?
Yes. They have been in an A24 movie. Yes, the A24 movie that they have been in, we have both seen. We don't really talk about it a lot, though.
Are they more popular in modern day culture?
Technically, yes.
Okay. Technically, yes. That's okay. That should help. It should help. Yes, should.
Not necessarily for a movie they've done recently, but they were a part of pop culture this year, yeah.
Or have they ever been the lead actor in a movie that they're like known for?
No.
Only a side character. That should help. That would be such good information. It's not like I'm asking terrible questions. I'm just bad at the game.
Fuck. They were the lead in their A24 movie, but that's it.
Oh, interesting.
And they've been the lead in like one other movie, but I would say their most notable roles, they were not the lead.
God almighty. Are they white?
Yes.
Fuck.
Very much so.
Is their most popular, most notable film a comedy?
No.
Is it a drama?
Yes. I only make you use one question for that.
Okay.
Because it's kind of the same question.
Are they good in it? Are they a good actor?
Yeah.
I would assume so because you're like, they haven't been nominated for... Okay. We're talking about someone who's usually a side character. and is a good actor and is most known for a drama. Do we talk about this person often?
Yes and no. Recently, we have.
Okay.
And when we talk about them, we dote on them for a while, but we don't bring them up all the time.
It's like guys shooting the shit, man. We're just like, bro, you remember Sam Cassell?
I wonder if there's anybody listening who's just like screaming this name right now.
Hey, I'm actually tanking on purpose because I'm trying to get investment.
This is all for the clicks, guys. This is all for the clicks.
I'm trying to get investment from the listeners here. I knew it like 5 guesses ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 5 questions.
It's Mark Ruffalo.
God damn. No.
Can you imagine? You're like,
I wouldn't have to guess him over 30. Is that why you said that?
That was the one I was.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had to guess.
For a second, I was
over
like,
30.
wait a minute.
Hey, I think you do.
It's just that at this point, I'm thinking of people I'd be shocked to learn that they, haven't been nominated for an Oscar. But then almost all the ones I'm thinking of have been nominated. So I'm like, okay, they're good.
Yeah. Unless this is so shocking that even you in your head are telling yourself this guy's for sure been nominated, but he's not.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think I might just go over 2 here because this podcast will be 5 hours long.
You throwing in the towel?
Yeah.
All right. This actor was Paul Dano.
Paul Dano,
someone who's been in the pop culture this year because of the slight that he got from Quentin Tarantino.
That was last year.
That was last year?
That was last year.
What the fuck? Are you sure? You're positive?
Yes.
Fuck. I tanked you.
You tanked me. That's
December, though? Come on. That's basically this year.
Paul Dano, yeah, great performance in Prisoners, fantastic performance in Little Miss Sunshine, fantastic performance in There Will Be Blood. So yeah, it's
fantastic
like, wait,
performance in The Batman.
No best supporting actor nomination at any point?
That's why when you say big box office, I'm like, well, he's been in The Batman and There Will Be Blood, but he's also been in Little Miss Sunshine and Prisoners, so it's like, he's not always the biggest, and
Swiss Army.
Huge movies. Yeah, Swiss Army Man. Also, I was thinking about the Dumb Money movie too. That was the other movie where I say he's the lead, but I know that wouldn't be the first movie.
And now I can see why you're like, I'm pretty sure he's over 30.
Because he's such a... Well,
he has a doll face.
I also knew that in There Will Be Blood, he was really young. So I was like, if he was like 16, 17 years old during that movie, I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying...
Right.
I remember that he was really young. He wasn't supposed to play that role. Yeah, it is a very, very hard game,
This game is very hard. I genuinely, please, reach out to us and let us know, and don't lie. Let us know if either of those games, you actually got it and you knew it. I want to know who's good at this game. Because I'm not. And I'm...
And we used to play this at lunch too, and we would give up all the time. And I did like Tom Hardy for you, and it was like, you were like, has he been in superhero movies? And I'm like, well, he's been in Venom. So yes, he's been in Batman. Yes, but you're thinking Marvel. So the answer is yes. He's been in a lot of superhero movies, But yeah, it's a hard game.
It's a hard game.
And like Daniel said, there's a lot of actors out there. So
this is going to be a New Year's resolution for me. This is a podcast Wild Dream New Year's resolution. I want to win one of these 20 question games. Goddamn.
I might bring up one every episode until you get one, and then we'll move on to another game.
Okay. Yeah. I fuck with it.
But anyways, if you guys enjoy these games, please let us know. If you want to get involved in the conversation, let us know what you thought of this movie. If you went to go see it, let us know what you thought of this episode. If you listen all the way through. Hell, let us know if you what you thought of this book. If you're one of the 10 people who have ever read this fucking book, apparently.
Maybe the guy who did the foreword will reach out.
We are at Wild Dream Pod on Instagram and TikTok. We're also streaming. We're going to be streaming a little bit more. We've been doing like shooters and scary stuff more recently, but we're going to get back into some friend slop. So if you just want to come to stream just to chill and not watch us get sweaty or rage and just kind of goof around and be more lighthearted, that's coming soon. So come and check us out. We are at Wild Dream Stream on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. But until next time, we love you. We kiss you.
You.
Good night.